Okay, another API. Another day, another API. I think in the next hour and a half, let's see if we can make this API. I don't think we need Postgres. So the goals are going to be have a task API. I'm pretty much I may look at the README, but the plan is going to be essentially to like sketch out like the routes, which should be very similar to the routes we did for the CRUD API, but just for a single resource, which would be the task resource. We won't set up a connection pool to Postgres. We need to figure out how to connect to Redis. We'll call from Postman the API, having it do nothing, and then we'll start integrating Redis into the API endpoints to like create a something to track the task in general, to like where we're gonna accumulate the results in, and something to, hey, Mark C, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. What is that emote? Mark C Simba, I have not seen that one. Got some hypes. All right, well. This came out today? All right, you were saying something yesterday about animated emotes. Yeah. Yep. Very nice, very nice. All right, well, welcome everyone. Suddenly, so many people. Hey, Miss Merck, welcome, welcome. Suddenly, the so many people. Ms. Merck is crazy. Just be careful, okay? I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah, welcome everyone. We're just starting another Rust microservice API. Foxy too, but you know that. I will say nothing. All right, so oh wow, what happened? Follow. Hey, thank you for the follow, Miss Merck. It's funny, it took like 6 months to get to 50 followers, and then like just a couple of weeks to go to 76. You sound like a solid American. Yeah, I am definitely an American. Oh my. Aw, thank you for saying so, Foxy. Yeah, I'm over here on the the west coast of the U.S. in the general Seattle area, where I've lived for here and there for quite a number of years. So what are we coding? That is a good question. Maybe I even know the answer to that. So generally speaking, we're coding a thing that is going to help me turn these streams into clips and highlights and YouTube videos and shorts and those sorts of things. So you want to learn to code? I don't know if this is the best stream to learn how to code, but you're going to definitely see some code. It might even be good code. I've not done a lot of like introduction coding stuff, but you worked in IT before having your child? That's interesting. It's your true love, and you work in cybersecurity, Marcy. I have. Cybersecurity is challenging. See some back and forth going on there, but generally, yeah. So the idea is we're this whole application that I'm building is this, like, we have all of the different recordings from the stream. I might actually have, like, I record locally all the stream stuff I do. So like here's my OBS folder. 519 items. We're at 2.73 terabytes. So it's getting up there. Sandwich. Yeah, it's a little bit. Please don't bring up food. I have like an hour and a half before lunch. It's only 10 o'clock here. a.m. Yeah. So I have all these video clips, like all the 20-minute segments of all the streams, and I want to be able to take that. I've already done like a stream ingestion API that takes all the video recordings and gets them, like records where they are and like uses ffprobe, which is part of FFmpeg. Yeah. So using AI to generate descriptions, using AI to generate like titles, to clean up transcripts, to generate transcripts, to identify like interesting segments of videos or where silences are, to break up things into episodes. So this all started because what I'm doing right now is I'm like taking all of those video files and I'm putting them into DaVinci Resolve, and then I cut each of these streams into 2 like episode like VOD things that I put on YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel as well where I'm putting that stuff, and I hope to do more. Like I have been doing like shorts occasionally, either from clips from here or like some other stuff, like especially for the modded Minecraft stuff. Yeah. But I want to do more of that, and eventually I want to do like edited content from the streams and maybe like separate stuff as well. How do you determine where your clip starts and ends? So like right now what I'm doing is I'm just like basically I'm taking the stream from like after the intro, after the countdown to the stream start until my midstream break, and I just take the whole thing and it just goes up. Like I'm not doing a lot of editing now. Yeah. Well, right now I'm just splitting it up for uploading, right? Not taking the best parts. Eventually, what I want to do is more like edited content. I don't know if that's going to be like a separate YouTube channel or what, but that's kind of the idea. You should make a command like to auto clip based on sound waves. Yeah, I mean that is sort of the idea, right? So, and that was the thing that I was just working on before the break, is the silence detection API. So you give it a list of the files, and then it identifies areas of silence, and that's going to be part of the metadata that is going to be used to like identify like episodes or highlights or clips or whatever. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of pieces. Yeah, because you don't want the silence in the video. Right. Well, more that I want to be able to like, I want to identify where those things are, either to have like GPT-4 to use that as information in the prompt to be able to suggest things, or just to like highlight those areas when I import all the information into DaVinci Resolve to like, yeah, to clip around it. Exactly. And that is one of the things I originally wanted to do was essentially gather all this metadata, generate an import file, and import that into DaVinci Resolve to like show me where things are, so it makes it quicker to cut things. Yeah, it could be used as a SaaS, maybe. I mean, I'm definitely building something that's complicated enough to be like an actual product, mostly as an excuse to like employ microservices, use Rust, use Redis and Postgres and Docker and all these things that I use elsewhere. But yeah, so it's a lot. So first up, we need to make a new API. And probably the easiest way of doing that, let's see, let's go to Task API. We'll create a new file. We'll create a cargo.toml. create a new folder, src, and read that message, right? Need to get a shower before I head out for a meal. Take care and good luck. Lurk mode activated. Yeah, appreciate you lurking. I suspect that with the number of viewers, if you guys hang around for the rest of the stream, assuming the stream doesn't crash like it did earlier, that I shall be an affiliate in no time flat. All right, so new file, main.rs. And then the important thing I need to do that I keep forgetting is to add task API to the top level cargo.toml. So this lists all of the like applications. There we go. And then I think I'll just copy everything from the last API we worked on and put that in here. So this will be our task API. So the purpose of the task API for the new folks is essentially to keep track of all of the long-running tasks. So like detecting silences in videos, like scanning all the audio, doing this processing work is not something that is instantaneous. It takes a little time. So the I don't think I've shown this recently. Let me pull this up. So we have actually a front end for this application, assuming it loads. So here's the React admin front end. And here's all of my streams since the end of August. Right, so if I pull up, here's a stream from the 15th of October. And here's all the video clips. So it's just a ton of information. It's not really easy to consume, but it's here. So all of the 20-minute video segments from this stream from October 15th. And there's room to like put in more information as well. Right? So that is here. And one of the things I want to be able to do is say, okay, well, I have this stream. Go ahead and identify like the place where the actual content of the stream starts, where the break was, where the break ended, where's kind of the stream wrap up, those sorts of things. And that takes a little time to do and like generate episodes from it, right? So like click this and then there would be an action to do that. That might take a few minutes to do. I don't want, and generally it's not good, to have like your front end call something, like make a web request, and that web request like takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do. Because what happens if your network connection gets interrupted or you refresh the page or any of those other things, right? So instead we're building a task API so that we can like queue up this task to do so that it will take the job, follow up on making sure the job happens, and then report back the status of it and any kind of like results, right? So that sort of work is what the task API is doing, or is going to do once it's actually implemented. So yeah, that's all good. Save this, close that, and we're gonna have more copy paste here. So I think we can start with copying this main function. Right, and there's some things we don't need here. So we don't really need anything in the application state. At least I don't think so right now. So we'll keep the app state struct in case something comes up. And then we need to figure out what our app routes are going to be. So the routes define kind of like what are the different endpoints the task API provides. What is that going to look like? Well, it should be really similar to the CRUD API because the intent is that our API endpoints that we provide in the task API are callable from the front end. They won't always be called. Some of them will be called by the other services, but the idea is they will be callable from the front end. So it needs to match the same pattern so that the thing in our front end, in our React admin driven front end, can know how to call that API. So in main.rs, it's just a couple of routes, right? So we have one that handles the record, either getting the record or creating a new record. And then we have for a record that exists, either getting that single record or updating or deleting that record. So we want these routes, like the definitions of these routes here, like this, but the shape of this is going to be different. So this, I think we'll just call it tasks, like that. Missing app there. There we go. And we are not going to have a kind of with the CRUD API, because we had a bunch of different kinds of records that all needed separate functions for like getting the list of them or creating them or update all those things. We had like separate submodules with all that stuff in it. I don't think we need that here. What we're going to do is we're just going to have like a function called getListHandler. We'll have a createHandler. Just keep it a little bit simpler. Get1Handler. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to define all these functions, and I'm just going to set them up to really do nothing so that we can test out calling this API and make sure that's like all connected before we move forward. Then the next step after that will be connecting this up to Redis so that we can actually see like records being created and stuff. I might actually have to like install a Redis client. We'll see. All right, so this is going to format, but of course it doesn't. It's not happy because these functions don't exist. But that's not a problem. Let's just make these functions. What do those functions need to look like? They need to look like this. So we'll create a function here called getListHandler. We don't need, right now anyway, we don't need anything from AppState. Foxy Blue, you said, I need to head out to my niece's birthday party. Catch you again soon. Leaving the lurk in hopes to get your affiliate. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Hope you have a fun time. Hope your niece has a fun time, especially. All right, so. And then we just need to have like a dummy result here. So we'll just say status code OK. And then JSON body of just like a empty object. All right. And then we don't even need this. So we can have like a really bare bones function here. And we just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things in total. So I'll just make those really quick with the appropriate names. There we go. Oops. All right, and then it says it doesn't. Yeah, we need to import get from XM routing. All right, now what's the problem? Trait bound fn impl feature output equals impl into response get list handler underscore is not satisfied. The following other types implement trait. Someday I'm actually going to really understand what this error is telling me, but it's not today. Let me. Let's look at one of the other ones. Let's see, what are we doing here? Oh yeah, we need to call into response, right? So we have. So in other programming languages, generally when you want to return something, you do like return blah. In Rust, if it's the last line and you don't put a semicolon, then this return, like this function, getListHandler, returns this value. But this value is a tuple, so it's just like kind of like a list, but one that you can't change the number of elements to. of these values. But what we say is that this function is supposed to return something that implements into response. In order to do that, we call dot into response on the tuple, and it turns it into a thing that's compatible with the expected return type, and doesn't like it. Into response. Okay, what else did I do wrong here? Oh yeah, we need to like wrap it in an Axum JSON if we're going to return JSON. Okay, so let's just find and replace our 6 occurrences of that with this. Okay, does that make you happy? Oh, I replaced one too many. Okay, parents, there we go. Okay, and now the file isn't read anymore, so that's good. Let me clean up these extra imports that we're not using. We'll probably use them later, but for now we're not using them. All right, now it's green. Hooray. Okay, so then I think... Oh yeah, I do need to add the task API to our Docker Compose. So this is kind of orchestrating all the services that we're running. So as a recap, we have a proxy service that's Nginx proxy. It's kind of handling, dispatching all the requests to the different backend services. We have our front end. That's the React admin thing that I had pulled up before, this guy. We have our API, our AI API, which is what's calling the Open AI API for us, with our very secret key that it's really important that it's secret because it's what prevents random people that are watching the stream from charging me money. And then, so it's in a file. It's in this text file that I'm not going to open. This one right here. And then we have a CRUD API. That's the thing that the front end talks to be able to see these records. Like, here's the list of all the video clips. Here's the list of all the streams, etc. We have a stream ingestion API. So that's the thing that I use to be able to find all the video clips that match the date of the stream, and pull like all the metadata, like how long is the video, what is the resolution, what is the other examples. Duration, content type, file name, bitrate, size, frame rate, audio bitrate. Yeah, those things. Stream ingestion API pulled all that information. And then silence detection API is the thing we were working on earlier in the stream that finds quiet places. And the task API is the new thing. So we're going to make a task API. Task API. And Copilot. So this, I have GitHub Copilot. I'm paying a subscription for that service. It's pretty clever in copying and pasting things that I've already written. And this looks like almost the right thing. What other suggestions does it have? Oh, I lost it. This looks good, right? So it basically all the APIs should look pretty similar. They have like a build section, and then we have like environment variables. So this looks actually quite right. It has the service name argument for our Docker build process, which tells the Docker build process to look in the task API folder. So all of this looks right. So if we were to run Docker Compose up, we should see, yeah, there's task API being built. And here in a minute or so, we'll have a new API. A new API that does nothing but a new API nonetheless with the right endpoints to call. I guess I can get that ready to go over here in Postman, right? So we can we make a new request to, what is this going to be, like record/tasks? So this would be like a request to get the list of all the tasks that are out, that exist, that the system would know about. Of course, it's not going to do that right now. It's just going to return an empty JSON object, theoretically, assuming everything works once the building is done. I think, did I find a Redis crate? There is one called Redis. Okay, cool. It was in my notes. So we'll look at that. I guess I can go ahead and add that to the cargo.toml for the service. So over here, we'll add Redis. I'll just put in a random version number, because once I save this, it'll be like, hey, this is a version that exists. There we go. View crate. Open. So crates are the Rust. Crate is the Rust, the name in the Rust ecosystem for packages that are available. There's documentation. Excellent. Look at that. Are there feature flags? So by default, it has ACLs, streams, geospatial, script, and keep alive. We probably want AIO as well. I see stuff about Tokyo, and we are using Tokyo. And there's something about JSON and sturdy, so probably that feature as well. So let's add some features here. So if we change this to be like version equals that, comma, features equals AIO and JSON. All right. Cool. That should serve us well. And so now we should have that task API. Like if we look over in the Docker dashboard here, we have a task API. There it is. It's listing. And then if I pull over Postman and send this request, it didn't work. Great, super. So localhost :8080 API records tasks. So that should have been sent by Nginx. API records tasks should have been sent to the task API. And we would have removed API records from the front of it. And then sent on the rest, which would have been /tasks. Okay. And we should have implemented /tasks get. So why no work? Okay, let's look at the Nginx container. Maybe there's a clue in there. It's called proxy. There it is. All right. API records tasks. Huh. Did I, no, I didn't specify a specific container. So it should have like reprocessed everything, including the Nginx front end. Why didn't this work? API records tasks. API records tasks. It's a mystery. So I assume what's happening right now is that, instead of making an assumption, let's go look at the CRUD API, the CRUD service, the CRUD API service. Did we get a request for, yeah, we got a records task. So this was used instead of this, which tells me I need to look at the Nginx docs. All right. Nginx location priority. Oh, hey, Audis, AWDS. How about Audis? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. How's your Sunday been going? All-wheel drive, son? Makes sense. Because it's always pedal to the metal with me. Yeah. How am I doing? Good. Definitely woken up by now. Have I don't know. I've maybe had more viewers. Maybe not sticking around as long. Thanks everyone for hanging out. But doing good. Sad that I ran out of coffee, but I'll have some more later. Hey, Brainless. Welcome to the party. And Lurk, food time. Don't bring up food. I still have some time. It's hard to make coding engaging. Yeah. There's not a lot of coding streams that I'll hang around in myself for a long time. No worries. Yeah, it's I mean, maybe you'll stick around. Let me know. Am I engaging? I definitely, something I've appreciated, not so much with coding streams, but definitely with game streams, when streamers are really like doing polls and stuff on like direction for things. And I would love to do more stuff like that, but it doesn't really work without, enough people around. But more of a, definitely, there's definitely been, like, even on coding streams in the past where, like, someone has sent in, like Brainless previously sent in, like, here's a Docker file that solves your problem. Those sorts of things where it's actual collaboration. Like this project that I'm working on now, it's called Video Processing Tool, but it's over here on GitHub. I should probably have a command for this, but it's this github.com/Sabin/glowing telegram. Someone actually started besides me as well. But yeah, all this stuff I'm coding on stream here, I'm pushing up to that repository. And pull requests are welcome. I might not accept them. But it is two things, or actually maybe three things, right? One, it's a thing to help me with streaming. Two, it's a thing to get some practice with Rust, because I haven't done Rust in many years, until lately, in the last like month or two. And three, it's a project to work on. You're working on something super similar. Interesting. Well, maybe there's some things that you could copy from this, or some things that you might want to share as well. But yeah, welcome. All are welcome. Right. So, Nginx. I'm here on Stack Overflow trying to figure out. All queries begin with regular expressions and longer conventional blocks will be matched first. Matches any query. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Odds. Welcome. Man, we're gonna hit that 80 followers in no time. Huh. Fires in this order. Exactly. Forward match. What is forward match? Matches any query beginning with thing and halt searching. Oh. Is this what I should be doing for all of these then? It's interesting because, like... Okay, well, I'm going to try this, and we'll see if that improves the situation. Well, that was instantaneous. Oh, right, because the I think our proxy container might have that mounted as a volume, that file. So we didn't even need to... Well, we might need to restart the front of the proxy. Yeah, it's a volume. Have I ever looked into using ChatGPT for coding? A little bit, more specifically agent swarms. What do you mean by agent swarms exactly? I'm assuming you're not referring to like, because like I'm using Docker and Docker Compose here, and there is like swarms for that, but something to do with ChatGPT. I don't want to share my ChatGPT history on stream, but I do use it occasionally for like higher level, like how would I go about approaching this? Like when I was trying to figure out some good strategies for like preparing projects to import into DaVinci Resolve, like scripting that, I use ChatGPT to like sketch out some ideas for that, and like surface some things that would have been hard to Google. Oh, my phone heard me. I'm not talking to you. Phone. All right, so did that fix our problem with getting the right API? No. Let me try restarting Nginx manually. So proxy. Yeah, if I expand this out, I'm assuming that proxy hasn't. Yeah, it's been running for 46 minutes. So let's restart it. In terms of like nitty-gritty coding, I've been using GitHub Copilot, like especially on stream. It's fun, just in that sometimes it has very, very wrong suggestions, but also, you know, a lot of the time it just it does seem to mostly work with a little bit of correction, and it saves me a bit of typing. All right, so does this work now? Yes. Now we get an empty object with a 200 status. Okay, so we are actually getting to the task API now. So Otis says, agent swarms is basically using multiple models, with each one trained, prompted for a very specific role. Project manager, CTO, developer, with each model sending their responses. Oh, that is an interesting idea. With each model sending their responses to each other and having it work together as a group team, similar to a dev team, tends to work insanely well compared to the single agent. Yeah, because I've definitely, like, as I've been working, I don't think there's really any way I can show that. One of the things I've been doing is, like, I've been working, trying to figure out how like, all this is going to come together to take like transcripts and summarize them into like descriptions for YouTube videos. I've started doing that manually by just like feeding the transcripts into ChatGPT and using like the general prompting techniques of like, oh, that's a lot of scrolling. Hold on one second. Let's scroll back to where the prompt was. Boop, boop, boop. More scrolling. Scrolling that you can't see. Just imagine I'm scrolling up the history in ChatGPT 4. Act like a competent marketing manager. I need a SEO optimized description of the following YouTube video, transcript written in a first person style. Just so things like that. But yeah, I can see why having like multiple like threads where you're telling GPT, 4 or whatever, GPT-4 Turbo, to act in a certain role and have it like exchange messages back and forth in those different roles could be really interesting, or really go off the rails. Maybe not. I will put a note about that idea in the project. Think about agent swarming for how I use GPT-4. Have to think about what those roles would be in the context of this kind of project, but I think generally it's a really interesting idea. All right, so the Nginx stuff worked. It's one of the new fields in LLMs, but it's pretty insane. There's a really cool GitHub project that has the system set up already. You want to link me to that? You should be able to put a link in chat. I think I still have that unblocked. It's called ChatDev? Okay, maybe I'll just Google it. Oh, yeah. OpenBNB. ChatDev, communicative agents for software development. This looks like it. This guy? Stream delay. Here we go. Cool. Thanks for sharing. And now it's a SaaS platform. Of course it is. All right, I'll put that over in my pile of tabs. Okay, so we have like 20 minutes before I need to start like getting lunch going. Let's maybe do something. Oh, you know what I need? I need a Redis client. Is what I need. I don't think I have one installed. Redis. Nope. Okay. Redis client. Yeah, I just learned about it today. It's pretty nuts. Yeah, it just your description and the description on that looked pretty interesting. I'll have to read more about it. Oh, good. Redis.io. I was thinking not more of a tool. Well, Redis CLI, sure, but how long has it been since I've used Redis? It's been a number of years. Okay. It's not a secret. Now all that is... Hold on. Why must you be this way? It's like you want to market to me or something. Job function streamer. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Other. They just keep on asking for more information. Well, okay, there we go. Got an installer. Speaking of LLMs, something. Have I tried local LLMs? Yeah, someone had linked a couple of things. Are we talking about like Facebook has a model that's unrestricted. I've not tried any of those things yet. That was going to be on my list. I wanted to have something working, and then look at maybe switching things out after. All right, at some point I'm going to get a UAC pop up, I think. Oh no, it just worked. Okay, installing software. Yeah, Olama. That's the one that was linked before. It's already Dockerized. Yeah, yeah. So I will try it at some point. It's on the list of things to do. Just a matter of time and priority, as with most things. All right, so Redis Insight is a thing I've never used before, but now I have it. Let's move it so the chat's not on top of it. We have it detected the existence of our Redis instance. Skip tour. All right, and unsurprisingly, there's nothing in here. Yeah, time is the problem. So many things that I want to do. Well, time and energy, right? There's a limited amount of like energy for like intellectual pursuits, and there's a limited amount of time of the day. All right, so let's see here. How is this going to work? Is something I haven't really thought too much about. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to have... well, I'll come back to that. Let's work on the API first. How do I want this to work? Actually, let's look at the README. So the idea, reiterating again to kind of get my brain thinking about how we're actually going to do this. So the task API is a simple task API that allows you to CRUD these tasks, and a task represents like a background job to do. Maybe you're talking to a person that pulled an all-nighter trying to figure out how to build a VTuber streamer using ChatGPT, using AI generated voice and LLMs and generative AI. I don't do all-nighters. Not anymore. Been there, done that. Did that for clients. Up all night trying to figure out, like, why is thing not working? Kind of troubleshooting. Now I have an, well, when I'm working it, I have a nice 9-to-5 job. Yeah, you get carried away. I don't think it's a really interesting idea, but yeah. What's nice right now for me is that since Thanksgiving through until New Year's, I have this whole time off, paid time off. So I'm doing streams, working on stuff around the house, actually playing video games outside of streaming, some, and yeah, just having a blast. Yeah. So we are trying to have an API that's going to allow us to queue up a task and then check on the status of tasks. So we want to have some kind of record that represents the task. And then we also want to have something that's going to represent kind of a, here's the next thing to do. How does Redis work? So we can have keys. We can have like a stream, a list, a set, a sorted set, a string, JSON. How does one... Oh yeah, there's PubSub. You can have PubSub channels. You can subscribe. We can workbench. You're job hunting yourself, about to graduate this upcoming May. No. Don't worry about distracting me. I mean, the interaction here, being able to have people asking questions and sharing ideas and stuff is like the whole point of this. If I just wanted to like code stuff, I wouldn't be doing it on stream. No worries. I am easily distractible. That's just how things go. But that's not your problem. Let's see. So what I want to figure out though is how does it's been like a decade. Redis PubSub. Okay. Is there a dark mode? No. There we go. So there's subscribe, unsubscribe, and publish. We can subscribe to channels. Do we need to create the channels in advance? So if we... What is P subscribe? Oh, lost it. That allows us to subscribe to a pattern. Okay, and subscribe lets us subscribe to a specific channel or a list of channels. So what I'm imagining here is that we're going to have a task worker that's going to subscribe to a channel. And then the API is going to want to publish to a channel. Publish a message saying, hey, start this task. And the message might be a key to the task itself. That feels very familiar from things before. What I don't know, so this channel, do we need to create the channel? Pub sub channels. List the currently active channels. Like I don't see a thing about creating channels, so maybe we don't have to create that. CF. Publish messages are characterized into channels without knowledge of what, if any, subscribers. Yeah, that's how PubSub works. Subscribers express interest in one or more channels and only receive messages that are of interest without knowledge of what, if any, publishers there are. Yep. At most once delivery, message delivery semantics. Once, if at all. Now, what are the implications of that for our task processing? Potentially, we could have a task record and maybe the message doesn't get delivered at least once. Redis streams are persisted and support at most once and at least once. I think I'm just going to do this. I think this will be fine. We can probably have some kind of recovery thing like a restart task process if we get there. PubSub has no relation to the key space. So what I'm hearing is that the channel is just like a name rather than something that has to be registered. Right, so if I go over to this, can I just like subscribe test one? Use pub sub tools description, of course. So we can subscribe to. Wait, how do I subscribe to the channel to see all the messages published to your database? How do I tell it which channel to subscribe to here? I guess I can't I? I'll just subscribe to everything. I publish that. Yeah, so channel test 1. Message test. Cool. Okay. Great. Back to code. Alright, so we want to implement a create handler. And what we're going to do here is that we're going to create task record as a hash in Redis with a unique ID. And then create a publish a message to the task channel. Reminds you of MQTT pub sub? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different pub sub like it's a general like pattern of and like a network architectural pattern. I suppose you can have pub sub below the network level, but yeah, it's a pretty common pattern for things, and it's something that I have used, but it might legitimately have been a decade. Well, let's see. We used Redis at the startup I was working at back. Yeah, we were using Redis. I think we were using Redis. It's been a long. It was like 2015, 2014. So nearly 10 years at this point. Okay, so anyway, so we're gonna have this. We're gonna have a post handler here that's going to do this work. But before we can do that, I need to figure out how to add the Redis client to our app state. So I need to go back to the Redis crate docs. Okay, so Redis client open something, and then we can get a connection. Probably we'll get the connection inside of the handler, and we'll set up the Redis client at app startup. We're not using a cluster. Do we have more documentation? Let's see. Okay, that's the page that we're currently on. Okay. So let's do this. Say Redis is this. And we're going to want to not pass that. We're going to want to read from what are we using? We're not using std env var. We're using that other thing. We're using .env. .env var. .env var. Redis URL must be set. It's almost believable, except for the fact that we probably need to define this field. There we go. Hey, and it's happy with that, maybe? Yes, okay, cool. So we need to add this Redis URL to our Docker Compose file for the task API. There we go. Redis URL. Actually, I think that's right. We have a container called Redis, right? Yeah, that looks right. Okay. So then in create handler, we want to get that connection. So how do we do that? We say let mutecon equals this. So to be able to do that, we need to actually get the app state out. So let's see, app state. Yeah. I suspect that's not quite right. How's this supposed to go again? State. State? Yeah, like that. We do state dot Redis. Let's see, did Copilot give us the right code? I suspect not. I'm glad you're getting joy out of this. What is... So state here... Oh, it's unknown. Why is it unknown? It should know what state is. Hold this thought. Let's comment this out. Okay, cargo check is running. Well, I appreciate it. No, I mean, I didn't think you were being sarcastic, but it's great. That means I am effectively, like, communicating my thought process. I don't understand why... oh, I know why. We're not importing state. Which is the... Not that. It's like exum... It's like extractors? Extract? Yeah. Now, how you're supposed to know that that's the problem? No idea. Okay. So, like, this is wrong, but at least we can verify, yeah, that this is the right thing. And then, oh, hey! Nate V. Hunter 90, thank you for the follow. I don't want to clone this. I want to do the thing the doc said, which is like get connection. Oh, look, now we can see a few things here. So there's a get connection. There's a get. Get connection looks right. We don't want to use unwrap because that would cause a panic. So what we need to do is we need to do a match and handle the different cases. So if it's okay, we have a connection. Otherwise, we have an error, so we'll return a 500 error that we failed to get the connection. And that semicolon is in the right place, so now we have a connection res. And Auda said, it's just nice to see how you logically break down the problems. I conceptually understand it, but I still get lost in the weeds sometimes when I'm programming messy code, so it's nice to see your approach and logic. Well, thank you. Thank you. I don't know. It's ingrained, kind of the approach, the problem solving skills or something that just you you struggle enough. I've been coding for a long while. I think the first time I wrote code would have been in like 96, 97. So it's been a while. And now it feels like half the time I don't even have to write code because of this nonsense. This is wrong though. We should actually look at the docs because that's not what I want to do. We want to, I think we want to like, oh, actually, how do we get a unique ID to use to generate the key? Let's look at the docs for Redis. Getting started? It's probably too Store and retrieve data. Yeah, it's pretty elemental, right? So here we have like hset, bike1, model, yada yada yada, scan the key space. Redis as a document database. Yeah, that's sort of what we're doing here. We want to create a document that represents the task, and then so we're going to have information about what the task is. And so we have like semi-persistent state about the task. And then we'll also want to like queue up or publish a message of actually processing the task. Yeah. Things we could do, creating an index. Redis allows you to access an item directly via its key. You also learn how to scan the key space, whereby you can use other data structures as secondary indexes. Your application will need to maintain those indexes manually. Redis stack turns Redis into a document database. I see. We're not really using that, are we? This is, oh, I see. This is stack specific, I think is what that icon means. We're not doing that. I think we just want to make Redis, transaction pops up, search and query, use Redis, key space. Okay, scanning, altering, querying the key space. Getting so hungry. Yeah. So what I'm thinking here is like we'll have a key, and the key will be something like generate a unique ID for the task. Yeah, it's not gonna help us. There'll be something like task, and then the next ID could be the key, right, for this record, and then we would from that then create that hash record that has some fields in it. We'll have to figure out exactly what the shape of the input looks like and what we want to stick in the task record and those sorts of things. I don't think I'll have time to do that today, but I would like to be able to actually create this record. So let's see if we can figure out how to get the next key. Keys. Yeah, Redis. Okay, so don't do this. Scan, incrementally iterate over keys. I mean, potentially what we could do. Ooh, patterns. Novel patterns for working with Redis data structures. Redis patterns example. Set data type. Sure. Hash data type, data layout. Next user ID. Yes, Redis time indeed. A little bit. My stomach is already gurgling. So by incrementing the task counter. Shade key pattern. Okay. So con dot something anchor. Now, does this exist? Let's see, connection. Okay, let me just go look at the docs for the crate. So there's a con dot something. You don't okay. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Okay. Basic operations, slow and high level parts, optional features, connection parameters, executing low level commands. So we can do Redis command set arg. So we can do it like that, or we can do high level commands where we can call a method on the connection. Do you have a list of the commands? So all the different get with type conversions, iteration protocol, pipelining, transaction pub sub. So it supports, it's a work in progress, but it's provided through pub sub connection object. Okay, that's probably not a problem. So can we... Where do I see? Maybe on connection? Nope. Impl connect for connection. No. Where is the method? Where is get? Not there. Oh, traits. Here we go. So the commands trait has a bunch of methods. It should have like a incr, as in increment. I don't know if the microphone is picking up my stomach, but it's telling me lunchtime is really soon. There's incr. And then key and delta. Cool. All right. So that seems fine. Food is important, but actually, like, making a little bit of progress here is also important. So we have a Redis result. It is a result. Okay, cool. So we can do match There we go. So we got something from Copilot here. This looks reasonable. So we do need to actually get the ID. Let ID equals that. And then otherwise we throw a 500 error if we failed to increment the task counter. And then what we want to do is we want to say, hey, here's the key that we're going to generate. It's going to be task colon and then the ID. And then we want to create the task record. Okay. Do I believe this could work? Let's see if cargo check is happy with that. If it is, I'm just going to keep rolling. And then publish a message to the task channel. So is cargo check happy with this? And we're just going to publish the key to the task channel. So a subscriber on that task channel would be able to see the key and know, oh, here's data. Here's where the data is to go and work on it. The thought is probably going to be that the task worker may do it. Maybe it'll. I guess it could just like do all the work and then update the record when it's done. I guess that works. Potentially, also it could like publish a message itself. Nah, that's fine. It's probably fine to have the worker like process the entire job. Yeah. And I don't think we need to return empty JSON here. Can we just return okay like this? Technically speaking, I think we need to return a header. How do we do that? I forget. I think we have an example in one of our other, maybe in stream detection API, and the one we've not implemented yet. Yeah, we want to do something like this for the creation, or do we? No, we don't, because so theoretically this create handler is going to be called when you post to the task endpoint, and that is going to be potentially something that you could do from the UI. You probably wouldn't want to, but you could do that. And so we're gonna make it so that what we'll do is we'll return the stuff that we're gonna stick in the record in Redis. But that's all well and good. I don't really... I'm not too worried about that quite yet. I'm just going to leave this like this because we're not ready to integrate. That's the word I was looking for. Integrate this into the UI. Right now, I just want to see that this does, in fact, publish and create the record. Of course, we also need to like take the payload input from the request body. Like there should be a request body that has the details of the task. All that stuff still needs to be done. In fact, let's put a to-do get request body contents and use that. Also to do move this to an extractor question mark. An Axum extractor is what I'm referring to here, like we did with getting a connection from the connection pool for Postgres. We could also not repeat these few lines of code in every single handler if we used an extractor to hide that away. To do, use the request body contents here. Yep. To do, return the created task record. So those are the remaining things we need to do just for the handler. But I do want to rebuild the project. And we're going to see this in action, hopefully. Hopefully it'll even work. So I'll subscribe here. So we'll see the message coming in. I'll get Postman up here. There we go. Interesting. Can I slide this? There we go. Now I can see the send button, even though the Postman is only half of a screen wide. And we're gonna post to API records task. Raw JSON. Not that this matters because we're not actually doing anything with the request body, but we'll just kind of pretend a little bit, and we'll wait for the build to finish. Ooh. Now here's a question. Is there someone we want to raid? Anyone doing Rust programming? I'm pulling up the... Ooh, there's someone. Someone doing... looks like they're doing advent of code. Someone I've not seen before. Let's see. Backseating allowed. Rust programming. Rustlang. Rust programming. NeoVim. Interesting. I know some people like NeoVim. Yeah, we could probably raid this Uncle Scientist. I heard about Advent of Code, but didn't have time with school this year. Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing Advent of Code last week because something failed. Because the week before last, I did extra coding streams on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, like the same time, but on those days. I didn't have time this last week, but that was one of the things I was talking about doing, to not just work on this project every stream, but maybe the bonus streams we could do like Advent of Code stuff. So maybe I might do some of that. All right, so what's the problem with this? Comp, Tokyo comp or async STD comp features required for AIO feature. Okay. Okay, so we need to update our cargo toml in Task API, I guess, to add that feature. Let's try that again. Okay. Well, I'm not going to promise those extra streams because depending on how things are throughout the week, may or may not be feasible. This is a question of how much I want to sleep in, but if I do, that will be. I'll try to keep that top of mind as a thing we could do. It may. I'm not sure if I'll use Rust for that. That may be a bridge too far. Maybe like Python or TypeScript or something that is a little bit more like ingrained in my brain at this point. Also, I see there's something red in main.rs. Is that... Aha! The following trait is not implemented in scope. Right, so none of those commands are actually available because we're missing a thing. And this should be .envy. I like how it really waited quite a while to complain about the problems. Type annotations needed. Yeah. So this should be some kind of integer, right? 64? Is that acceptable to you? Something else is not? Cannot satisfy underscore from Redis value. Consider specifying generic arguments. What is the problem here for hset multiple? FNV sets multiple fields in a hash. Okay. All right, our potential raid target's only been streaming for 22 minutes, so this will be a raid that we could actually do where the person is not about to end their stream, hopefully. I keep on doing that, but maybe this time. So I do need to figure out what this error is about, though. Cannot satisfy underscore from its... maybe it's this explicit type here. What if we did this? No? What if we did this, since we don't care about the return? Why doesn't it not like us? Where is this from Redis value coming from? Let's see. K is the key. F is... Okay. So maybe we can... That's too many. What are you doing, Copilot? Are you happy with that? Method takes 4 generic arguments. Does it? 1, 2, 3. Method takes 4 generic arguments, but 3 arguments were specified. Oh, the lifetime. Okay. Ugh. You can't infer that? What if it was just empty? Cannot satisfy underscore 2 Redis args. Okay, what is 2 Redis args? That's all 3 of these. What if I just did the lower level commands? There's definitely a method called command. There's probably a separate trait that comes from. Oh, I see. There's a shortcut function. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not that. It's what is the actual method? Like these are all the high level ones. Come on. Into set scan. Hold on, let me check the docs. I was so hopeful that this was gonna just work. CMD, Redis, CMD, CMD. Okay. Oh, is it like send? No. Let me go back. Redis result commands, Redis connection, trait, connect, connection like, request command, send a command to the TCP stack and read a single response from it. Rec command. Rec command. Aha. Now, let's see if this nonsense is the right one. Expected command, not HM set. Okay, so this part is wrong. More like this. Doesn't like the clone. Okay, so that isn't complaining. And the same problem here, where it cannot satisfy underscore from Redis value. I feel like I'm definitely doing something wrong here. But we don't need that let either, right? Okay. Cannot satisfy underscore from Redis value. Following types implement trait from Redis value. Bool, isize, and 44 other things. So key is not one of them? Wait. Is this do we need to do something like that, or oh, what about I don't get it. What if we did test? Is it happy with that? No. Type annotations needed. Cannot satisfy underscore from Redis value. Redis commands publish. str rv. Right, the return value. Okay, this is 2 Redis starts, 2 Redis starts. Oh, I see. So what is it supposed to return? Let's back up. I think the issue is the return type here. I don't know. Does that make you happy? Aha. Nope. Why? Okay. Still no. Right, because we're missing a lifetime. Oh wait, why is this RB here? Oh, is that why this is wrong? Yes, maybe? We definitely don't need that. Okay, and then key. Yeah, we can clone that so that this can be borrowed inside of here, and then it shuts up. Okay, what if I say it's a unit? And then I just don't capture the results. And we don't return anything here. Okay, great. Now, can we build it? Come on. I want to eat. There we go. Engaging coding, right? Is will it compile or not? Will I get to eat? Will Sabin get to eat lunch in the next 15 minutes? In the next 30? Looks like it compiled, so that's good. I'm gonna test this. I think whether it works or not, we're gonna move on. But let's post. Okay, so we got a 200. Hey, look, message task 1, success. This is success. So there should be an object in here. Refresh right now. There we go. So we have task counter, which contains 1. And we have task 1, which is a hash that has an ID and a name. Hooray! All right. We did it. Okay. So, things I have to say. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. We're going to wrap things up here. After lunch, I'm going to commit the remaining changes. I'll see if I can remember to tag them as well. Thanks for all the new followers. Nate V Hunter 90, AWDS, Ms. Merck, and thanks so much to the raid from Mark Z and all the people that came out for the raid. I'm going to do this, and this will be the end of the video on YouTube. So thanks if you made it this far in the YouTube video. I'm gonna stop recording.